Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the internet and welcome to my channel. It's me, Odio, and I'm here today to review Fountain of Youth, the new Guy Ritchie movie streaming on Apple TV, starring John Krasinski and Natalie Portman. It's got to be a winner, right? Well, let's get into it. Fountain of Youth is an adventure story about, yeah, you guessed it, the Fountain of Youth. The old fabled fountain that's supposed to grant, eternal youth, survive all injuries, wounds, and all that good stuff. Kind of like the Holy Grail from Indiana Jones. It's an old story, an old relic that we hear a lot of mythological tales about. Well, don't worry, because we're going to go looking for it in this movie. And it's by Guy Ritchie. And, I like a lot of his stuff. I really like a lot of his, like The Gentleman is great. Mobland is top notch.
I ate a tuna sandwich on my first day, so Andy started calling me Big Tuna.
So on the surface, before this movie, before I even watched 1 minute, I'm like, well, it's got Guy Ritchie, John Krasinski, adventure. I'm all about this. Let's get into it here. Now, John Krasinski as a leading man is not something I really pictured as, Jim Halpert from The Office is how I know him, and he had a lot of success there. Especially loved his interactions with Dwight and Michael Scott, and I know Michael didn't want him to leave.
And Liquor, our prices have never been lower.
Stop it. That is totally inappropriate.
But, he had his awkward moments on The Office, too. But he's done a lot since then, to be fair. Like, he was in A Quiet Place, but, he doesn't make it to the end of that movie. Oh, spoiler alert there. And he's Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime. Does a pretty good job there. I like that show. It was all right. And he has that little cameo appearance as Mr. Fantastic in a couple years ago in Doctor Strange. So, he's had a few chances here, but this is the first time I can really say, like, he's the main guy on the poster, and he's the main guy you're going to be following in this.
Send in the subs.
So John is playing Luke Perdue, and his dad was a pretty knowledgeable expert in the old Fountain of Youth. And he's going on a globe-trotting adventure to track down the fountain for a rich guy named Owen Carver. Owen said he's sick, dying of liver cancer, so things aren't going well.
Say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
So, as we get introduced to Luke Perdue in the beginning of the movie, he comes off like a suave, kind of art thief type guy, almost like a cat burger, but, he's cracking jokes and stuff as he's trying to steal things, and he ends up, he's got to steal these 6 paintings. That's the whole point. You really get National Treasure vibes really early on in this movie, and you get some Mummy vibes too later on, but it feels kind of like both those movies. Like, whoever made this movie has definitely seen both those movies, but this is definitely not as good as either one of those.
Resistance is futile.
So our main guy, Luke, ends up going has to steal another painting from a museum. It's these 6 paintings of different pictures or depictions of Christ, I guess, or something like that. But anyway, he has to steal from his sister, Charlotte. She works at a museum, and he goes in and has to steal a painting from there. And as he's stealing it, the police and everyone are chasing him, and she bursts out like, "What are you doing? Don't steal that painting." He's like, "Jump in, Charlotte. You know you want to come and have some adventure." At that moment, I was like, what? What the heck is going on here? Why would she do this? But she does indeed. Oh, adventure. Allons-y. We're on the go now.
Allons-y.
Charlotte is played by Natalie Portman, and my goodness, they absolutely overuse the "I'm not going to come," or "I'm not going with you," or "I'm not getting in that plane." And then the very next scene, the plane's taking off or the car's taking off. They spam that joke with Natalie Portman so many times. It's like somebody playing Street Fighter, keep doing the same move over and over again so you can't get them. It got silly and just so overused and a little bit annoying, and it was just very generic. It was very obvious. You could see it coming a mile away what they were going to do. You're like, "Oh, I'm not going to go there," and you're like, "Oh, please, do I see this same joke coming?" It does its best to try to give National Treasure vibes, but they don't have Nicolas Cage.
Oh, let me guess. It's the wrong time. It's the wrong place. I'm wrong again. Wrong about us. Wrong about Thomas Gates.
There's no real gravitas. Like, I don't really, when I'm watching Krasinski and Natalie Portman, I don't feel drawn to their characters. A lot of the dialogue is bland. It's not inspirational or anything like that. And they don't come off as either super evil or super good. They're just, I don't know. It doesn't really work that well.
Right.
The movie clocks in just over the 2 hour mark, but it definitely feels longer than that when you're watching it. You're going to be checking the watch or looking at the phone about halfway through. The CGI, pretty good on that front. The action scenes and stuff, they do look good. Apple TV definitely has some money, but it feels bland and generic in everything they do. I feel like I've seen it done in other movies better by different actors or in different scenarios, but it feels like they've all worked better before than they do here. It's kind of a mishmash of movies all thrown together, as if you just took a blender. You're like, what are a bunch of movies people like? How can we make one that's kind of like all those combined?
You see, the right side of the tank is filled with idea balls. Each idea ball has a verb, noun, or pop culture reference written on it. There's millions of them.
And you get this, which is a movie that I don't really think anyone's gonna really like. It's inoffensive and bland and not exciting at all. There's no, even though there's action moments, you never really feel like you're on the edge of your seat or you're worried or you're like, oh my goodness, where are we going or what's going to happen next? You're most of the time you're like, okay, I get it. We've got this thing now. Go for the next MacGuffin.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
We do have some side plot characters like Esme, this girl. She's part of an organization that wherever John Krasinski seems to go, they're always there to try to stop him or try to not let him get the artifacts or try to steal the artifacts themselves. At one point in the movie, like just so they can throw it so it's obvious a mile away, she's like, we're not after the artifacts. Oh, really? So you're just trying to stop him? Wow. As if that wasn't obvious from the first scene.
Alrighty then.
Like I said, very reminiscent. If you've seen Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, you really get those vibes, but again, not as good as that. We don't have Harrison Ford here. We've got Krasinski in them, and they can't pull the weight. He doesn't seem like he can hold the movie up on his own, and the plot wasn't interesting enough. And Guy Ritchie usually has pretty snappy dialogue. I love a lot of his movies and shows, but this really seemed to be lacking in that department. And once you get to the climax of the movie, like I said, it's all right, a nice big set piece, but again, very clear where the story's going. You're not surprised by anything. Everything is super obvious. You see it coming a mile or two away. Overall, it's not good. I mean, and when you get about an hour and a half in, you're like, come on, movie, wrap this up. It just keeps going and going and going.
They keep going and going and going and going and going.
Apple TV should have made this into a show. Had each episode where he goes and gets like one of the paintings or one of the artifacts, whatever. I think it would have worked better at that. It would have done better in smaller little bites like that. But as a whole movie, it doesn't work. It's just bloated, overly long, and like I said, it just keeps going and going and going. It seems like it's never going to stop. And when you finally get to the end, it feels more like a relief than a climax, you know? Overall, I'm going to give Fountain of Youth a 5 out of 10 on the odometer. It's got some all right moments in it, some good CGI at times, some of the jokes land, and I like the overall idea of the adventure, but bland and generic and a lot of stuff just doesn't land, and everything is so predictable. By the end of I feel like I could have written this myself just in between breaks at work or something. And I will say I'm disappointed I didn't like this movie. I really like The Gorge on Apple TV. I think they do some good stuff. They've got some money over there. I really like Murderbot on their platform. Big fan of Guy Ritchie, but yeah, this one just really missed the mark. You know, it really wasn't just what I was looking for. I didn't have a great time with it, but if you have Apple TV and you got 2 hours to kill, maybe get your phone or something going, play some solitaire while it's on. You'll enjoy it just as much. But thanks so much for watching this far, guys. Really appreciate that. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. And remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.